Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons of buying your groceries online and then either going to pick them up or having them delivered. I have been doing online shopping for a while here in New Zealand. I do click and collect, which means I go onto the website, I place my order, and then I just go and pick it up in store. And it's brought to the customer service desk in a trolley and I just take that out and leave. When I lived in England, I did Tesco online shopping, so I would do my grocery shop online and then it would be delivered to my house. They would even bring it into the kitchen if I wanted them to. So I've tried both ways. They don't actually deliver to my home where I currently live because I live in a small village, so that's why I do click and collect. Otherwise, I'd be quite happy for them to bring it to my house. I love online shopping. There are so many pros to it, so I'll run through them now and then I will let you know some of the cons to look out for if you're considering doing this. So the first pro is, obviously, as I mentioned, it's convenient. You can be sitting at home in your pajamas and you can go online and place your shop. You don't have to go out of the house, you don't have to take young children with you, you don't have to battle traffic or crowds or find parking or any of that. You literally just sit down and tell your computer what you want. You just can't beat that, especially when you have young children. I had a friend in England, she has 5 children and she was going to the shop twice, or she would go and she would have to take an older child with her and have 2 trolleys because she needed to buy that much stuff for her large family. And I thought she was crazy, and I said to her, why don't you do it online? And she said that setting it up was a bit daunting and she'd never got around to it. I sat down with her, I set up her account in about 10 minutes and she hasn't looked back. You just can't beat the convenience. Now, I know that if you have young children, it can be a hassle to take them shopping, but I also know that sometimes that's your treat. When your partner's home to watch the kids, you can go to the shop and you can browse around and just zone out and shop to your heart's content without kids. But I used to enjoy doing that with pleasurable things. I used to go out in the evening and then look at the clothes at Tesco or just kind of pick up a few bits and pieces. But for my main weekly grocery shop, that wasn't fun to me, to go out and to do that by myself. Sometimes I would do it, but generally that kind of stuff was just a chore. And it was so convenient to not have to take my kids grocery shopping with me. Especially if you're sick or if any of your kids are sick, you don't want to have to go out, and you don't have to with online shopping. Unless you do click and collect, but even then you can perhaps get someone else to pick it up for you. Another pro is that you can double check your fridge and pantry as you're doing your shop. How many times are you in store and you see something on special offer and you think, actually, do I have that at home or do I need to stock up? Because that wasn't on my list of things I needed to buy, but if I've only got 1 or 2 in the pantry, it might be worth stocking up on this special offer. Because yes, you can still check out special offers on the website. You're not going to miss anything that you would see in store. But if you're shopping online at home, you can jump up and go and look in your pantry and go and look in your fridge and be able to see straight away if you need something or not. Another pro is you never forget your list at home. How many times have you gone to the shop and you've parked your car and you've gone inside and got your trolley and started shopping and thought, where's my list? I've left my list at home. And then you either have to phone someone at home to get the list, or you just have to try and remember what was on your list. That's never going to happen if you're shopping from home because your list is right there with you. A big pro for me is that it's easy to stick to my budget. If you are busy adding things to cart, it's showing you the total straight away, and you can, at the end of your shop, go and take things out or add things in if you are over or under budget. It's so much easier to stick to my budget now that I'm shopping online than it was when I was going in store. And yes, you can go around with a calculator, but it's just more hassle. If you're pushing a heavy trolley with both hands, where are you going to operate a calculator from? So online shopping, you watch the total, you can adjust things, take things out of your cart, put things back in, decrease or increase the number of items you're buying, and it's so much easier to stick to budget. Another pro is it's easy to search for ingredients. If you have a new recipe you want to try, you just type in the ingredient and it pops up, and it may or may not be something you've bought before. But if you want to buy lemongrass or coconut or I don't know, whatever ingredient that you don't have in your pantry, you don't have to go and search the store for it. If you haven't bought it before, you may not know which aisle it's in. You can just type it in the search bar and it pops up. And conversely, the things that you do buy all of the time, say you buy broccoli every single week, that's going to be in your favorites. So what I do is I go onto the website, I go to my list of favorites, and I just generally shop from there unless there's something extra or new that I need to add, or if I want to go and browse the special offers. But generally, I buy pretty much the same things all of the time, and I can just browse through my favorites and I can just add from my favorites and not have to search the whole store for the things that I need. Another pro is you not having to walk the store multiple times. How many times have you been doing your shop and you say halfway through the store and you're checking your list and then you notice an item that you should have got 3 aisles back but you missed it on your list, and then you have to double back and go back and fetch that item? You're not going to have to do that. All you have to do is type it into the search bar or scroll back through your favorites and add that item, and you're not wasting time and energy. Another big pro, and it kind of goes along with sticking to budget, is you're not sucked into impulse buys. If you're walking through the store and you see a rack of new products or something on special offer, you can be tempted to buy things that either doesn't fit into your budget or doesn't fit into your healthy lifestyle or whatever it is. You can make impulse purchases that you didn't mean to do, and that's a lot less likely to happen online. You're not going to be tempted to go over budget or buy treats that you really shouldn't be eating because you're not going to be seeing them in store. But if you do want to check out the special offers or new products, you can also do that on the website, but it's a conscious choice. A huge pro for me is that it's a time saver. If you factor in how much time it takes to drive to the shop, walk into the store, do the whole shop with your trolley, buy all of the things that you need, go through the checkout, go and pack everything into your car and drive home again, and compare that to how long it takes to doing your shop online, it is so much quicker to do it online, especially if you're shopping from your favorites. You just add, change quantities, check out. It takes about 15 minutes maximum. It's so much quicker. It's such a huge time saver. And I don't even drive to the store to collect my order. Usually Grant picks it up on his way home from work, so it's barely any extra time for him as well. And the other pro is that if you're going into the store and you're looking for, let's say, chicken thighs, and they don't have chicken thighs in stock, but they do have boneless, skinless chicken thighs at twice the price, you either have to buy the boneless, skinless chicken thighs at twice the price or just do without that item. When you shop online, you can choose whether or not to allow substitutions, and if you do allow substitutions, they would substitute those chicken thighs for you, but at the price you would have paid for the original chicken thighs that were no longer in stock. So sometimes you end up getting a better item but at a cheaper price that you would have paid, and that would never happen if you went and shopped in store. Okay, those are some of the pros of shopping online for groceries, and now I'm going to talk about some of the downsides. I think the biggest downside is that you have to remember to do it in advance. Let's say it's Tuesday evening and you realize you're out of a few things. You can choose to go to the grocery store and do your shop then, and you can do it on an impulse, or you can decide that afternoon that you're going that evening, or whatever the case may be. But when you're shopping online, you need to do it far enough in advance that you can get a slot. I can't go on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and get a slot for 5 p.m. That's not going to work. So you have to do it either earlier in the morning or you have to do it the day before to be able to get a slot. So you do need to make some kind of a plan when you're doing it, and plan in advance and not just do it on impulse. Another con is that when you've chosen a time slot, you're locked into that time slot. And let's just say that I choose the time slot between 5 and 6 p.m. because Grant usually comes home through town at about 5:30 and he'll collect groceries. What if for whatever reason he comes home early from work and he comes through town at 3 o'clock? I could phone in advance if it's far enough in advance and get them to change the slot to 3 to 4 p.m. instead of 5 to 6 p.m. But if you're too close to the slot, they can't do that. They won't have had time to do your shop, and it is an extra step to phone and change. And some stores don't even allow you to change. So that is something that can be a con, is that you're locked into that time slot, which you may have chosen the day before or however far in advance, and it's a bit tricky to change or impossible sometimes. Another con is that you have to pay close attention to sizes, or you could accidentally order the wrong size. So a tin of coconut cream, for example, looks the same whether it's a small one or a big one. On the website, the picture of the tin of coconut cream looks the same. And unless you're paying close attention to look and see, is it 180 milliliters or is it 400 milliliters, you could accidentally order the wrong size, which I have done before. Another con, which can be a bit annoying sometimes, is you need to know what things weigh. So if you are ordering bananas and it's sold by the kilogram, you need to know how much a kilogram of bananas is, or half a kilogram of bananas. Is half a kilogram of bananas 3 bananas, or is it 10 bananas? If you're not familiar with what they weigh, or you don't have any in the house to weigh, you're not going to know how much to order online. You do kind of get a feel for it and start to learn how much you generally order, but sometimes you can do things like order 200 grams of ginger root and then discover it's a piece of ginger root this big and you're never going to get through all of that ginger. Ask me how I know. A con that some people mention is not being able to pick their own produce or meat. I have never had a problem with the people at the store picking my produce or meat, except for 2 occasions I can think of. One was avocados. In fact, that happened a couple times. I won't order avocados online because they didn't pick me good ones. And the other time was a cucumber. I ordered a telegraph cucumber, which is generally that long, and when the cucumber came, it was that long. For some reason, their telegraph cucumbers were mini, but they cost the same as they usually did. And if I'd been shopping in store, I might have decided to pass on the cucumber, because for what you actually got, it ended up being quite expensive. But you're not going to be able to do that if you're shopping online. But those are the only 2 times I've had problems with produce or meat being picked for me. Generally, I don't mind somebody else picking them. Another con is that you usually won't find out that they are out of stock of an item until you go and pick up your order. So let's say you did your grocery shop on Monday evening and you're picking it up on Tuesday afternoon, and you have a dinner party on Tuesday evening. You can go on Tuesday afternoon, you've prepped and planned the meal ahead of time, and then when you go and collect your groceries on Tuesday afternoon, you discover that they are out of 1 or 2 chief ingredients that you need for that night, and you wouldn't have known ahead of time. If you had known ahead of time, maybe you would have planned a different meal, you would have changed what you decided to serve, you wouldn't have prepared most of it in advance, but you've only found out at the last minute. So that can be annoying when that happens. If you allow substitutions, they could sometimes put something else in, but sometimes they just don't have anything in that particular realm. Like, for example, if you've ordered gluten-free pasta, maybe they don't have any gluten-free pasta in stock, and then you're stuck without the pasta and you've planned and prepared a pasta dish. When I used to do my grocery shop online in England, if I placed the order on Monday for Wednesday, they would only charge my card on Wednesday when the groceries were delivered. But Countdown charges your card when you place the order. So let's say payday is Tuesday. You're placing your order on Monday so that you can collect your groceries on Tuesday. They're going to charge your card on Monday. So you need to be aware of that and plan accordingly, that they will charge when you place the order and not when you actually go and collect your order or have it delivered. And then my biggest pet peeve when shopping online is they don't always list the ingredients. Countdown is usually pretty good and they are adding in ingredient lists all the time, but sometimes you can go and look for a product and it's not going to have any ingredients. I was looking for applesauce and I wanted pure applesauce. I just want apples. I don't want stabilizers, I don't want thickeners, I don't want sugar, I don't want anything else in there except for apples. Thank you very much. Why is that so hard? And I was looking at jars of applesauce and most of them didn't have the ingredients listed. I usually Google then, I will Google that brand and that product to see if there's an ingredients list online somewhere, but sometimes you can't find it, and then I would order the product and it would come and there would be things in there that I couldn't or didn't want to eat, and that can be frustrating. By the way, if you want 100% pure apples, you need to buy baby food. Why is it so hard to make applesauce without junk in it? Anyway, I digress. That's a whole nother rant for a whole nother day. Nothing gets me madder than reading food labels, but that's the point of this, is that you can't always read food labels when you're shopping online because the ingredients aren't always listed. Overall, I definitely feel like the pros outweigh the cons. I'm not likely to stop shopping online anytime soon. Even with the delivery fees, which vary from store to store and country to country, I still think it's worth it for the convenience and for all of the pros listed above. It's also kind of an introvert's dream. I have an app on my phone and they will text me when my order is ready, and I just press a button on that app saying I'm approaching the store and they will bring it to the front desk, so I don't even need to wait. I can pull into the parking lot, walk inside, take my trolley and leave. I don't need to speak to anybody. I don't need to make small talk with the girl at checkout or deal with other people in the store. It is an introvert's dream and it's super convenient. I hope you found this video helpful in weighing up the pros and cons of shopping online. Let me know if you decide to give it a try and what you think of buying your groceries this way. Like I said, I'm a complete convert and I highly recommend it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.